All right, looks like a bunch of people are joining in. Wonderful.
Yes. And I've remembered to hit record because that's one thing I always forget. So a good thing I have. Awesome.
All right, looks like a bunch of people are joining in.
Welcome, everybody. Good seeing you. Awesome. Just while everyone's filtering in, Stephen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling pretty fired up, actually. Pretty excited about today's stream. This is what we're calling it, the best, worst, or something kept secret. Bad secrets.
I think every time it's spoken about, I think it's flipped to the worst best kept secret and the best worst kept secret. I think both were true at one point, and now it's finally here to be revealed, and I'm glad to be here this evening to do that, because I feel kind of tired being talking almost in code. And I think a few people might have grasped what this might be about. You know, we've set a few little Easter eggs going to war with your expenses, and I know on yesterday's stream, Noel was kind of alluding to some elements to what we're talking about today as well. But yeah, it's definitely been some grueling months in the lead up, but it's definitely been a fun one, Stephen.
Yeah, it has been, and I am ready to stop talking in code. I am ready to go right at this. This is exciting. Would like to say hello to everyone that's joining us. So we appreciate you being here. We're kind of just waiting for last couple of people maybe to filter in if there is anyone else. But I am, like I said, I'm pretty fired up. I was reading over some of the information today, and it was actually making me more excited if I could be. So welcome. Good to see everyone. Maybe we can get we can get everybody just to put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear us okay, and if you want to say hello. Here we go.
Oh, this seems a lot faster. I think something about meets. I think there's no delay, which is really good. So now whenever we're looking for engagement, we're expecting to see it there. And we have, so it's great to see, and we can see that your headphones seem to like meets a lot more than the circle chat, doesn't it?
Yeah, there was a bit of panic yesterday for me in yesterday's stream. I don't know if anybody picked up on that. I know that I cut out at the end. I had a complete freeze up, not just on my headphones, but my system. So I had to bail out a little early, but grateful for the team. Let's hope we have no technical issues today.
Yep, absolutely. So let's finally unveil this, shall we?
I'm ready. Are you guys ready? Get some nodding heads. There we go. Great.
Yes, awesome. So welcome everybody to All One, and I'm going to just move over to here, and I can see that everyone can see this okay. So I'm going to start with something a little bit backwards. This is probably, I think this is my first ever kind of keynote presentation. You know, I'm so used to being on calls, just kind of, and the podcast just riffing off each other and just speaking about what comes to mind and looking at real world examples and stuff. So one thing I've noticed, and one thing that we've noticed, that a lot of these presentations really kind of keep you at the edge of your seat. And I've been an attendee in a lot of these presentations, or a lot of presentations in the past. And one thing that's always coming up in my mind is, okay, this all sounds great. I'm at the edge of my seat. How much does it cost? And we thought we'd just flip this on its head and start with the elephant in the room. And I know that a few people will be filtering in, so we can certainly jump back to these slides. But yeah, this is how we're doing it. We're private label people. We don't do things normally. We're not conventional. So with all that said, technically the cost is 0. And I think we're going to have to repeat this a few times, Stephen, because it might not gel. It might not be understood. It's like, okay, how? So technically the cost is zero. All you'll need is a private label people annual membership. Most people are on the monthly. Most people will be engaged, want to take advantage of all of the services, the streams, the education, and all of the reporting. All you have to be is on the annual membership. And I want to bring this out quite early as well, is that this service is not mandatory. You're not forced into this service. By all means, you can pay more and have higher expenses if you desire. You can also be less efficient if you want as well. So I'll leave that at that and move on to the next slide.
Thank you, Ali. What is an Amazon fulfillment house? And that they are a distribution center and they're not a warehouse. We wanted to bring this up and speak to this a little bit. Amazon, focuses on being a distribution center and a fulfillment center. They're not a storage facility or a warehouse. And we know that the costs are considerable because of that. Not only that, their business structure, although they're worldwide, they're, really number one in what they do, their business structure isn't set up either for being a storage facility. They really are a distribution and fulfillment house. So we want to make sure that we pay attention to that and we discuss that. So what can we expect, or what do we expect as private label sellers? We expect, we don't want any long-term charges, seasonal costs, or changes that happen on a regular basis. We would like to have our bulk storage, where we're holding the mass of our stock, to be cheaper than Amazon fulfillment centers. We'd also like the ability, which is the reason why most people use third-party storage facilities, to have adjustments and resolve issues, whether they're minor or major, prior to it getting into Amazon. Cartons can also be, we'd like the ability to reconfigure cartons, multi-packs, all of those types of things. Of course, we don't want to be paying for overstock prices. If you have, made a mistake and sent too many items in. And a big piece to this, what we expect, is avoiding the Amazon being the importer of record being the problem. This is a huge reason why a lot of people have initially used third-party storage facilities. It's been something that we ourselves as sellers, but also just the industry, has really struggled to navigate. Of course, if you're not careful and you don't get this right, Amazon could refuse these items and return them. Obviously, that's going to be more cost. It's going to cause more time, and this continues to be an issue. However, our network that we've been working on for a long time supports us through navigating around the costly issue of multiple warehouses in multiple markets in multiple countries, and allows us to circumvent this issue. This is a huge point for us going forward. Absolutely. And one of the things we've talked about as a group, because we've heard it from people repeatedly as we've done multiple different things, is this is too good to be true. And our response is, it's just true. It's just true. That's what it is. We're working on some great things, and we're bringing them to you guys, and it's just true. So thank you.
Yeah, no, completely agree. And, looking at this list of what we've expected over the years, it is the reason why we have utilized third-party warehousing in all the countries that we sell products in. And back in 2017, these were the reasons, and now in 2024, these still are the reasons that are still as valid. However, we've got slight change, or I'd say a major change, which could actually, I'll just kind of go through this and you guys will see for yourself. So what is all one? All One is a facility closer to production. So traditional way of doing things, we would have a facility in our destination marketplace, or the marketplace that we want to sell the products in. All One is a facility in the country where the goods are produced, i.e. China. So this facility is a place where you can store your goods, and where we store our goods, where we can have workload produced onto the items. I know that Stephen alluded to this on the last slide. So things like relabeling, made in China is a requirement in the US. And, whether it's a reorder or a new order, small things could be missed by suppliers. And again, another reason why we would send stock to a third-party warehouse traditionally, in order to make sure that everything is Amazon ready before it's replenished, because these are items, or these are things that Amazon can't do themselves. It's also a facility that we can ship from as well. And the beauty of this is that there are no minimums and no predetermined destinations. So it's not like we're producing 500 units for Canada and all 500 units need to go to Canada. We can have a lot more flexibility with this.
So why explore All One? As many of you know, we have continued to look to solve many of the issues that have been presented to us, either through our own experiences or collectively through the people that we work with. There's been many times where people have come to us and discussed the different trials and tribulations that they experience, the different costs, and just being inundated with different things. And we're always on the front end of innovating. And your bottom line means a considerable amount to us. The structure for private label people, something that we've put forward, is the idea of working together and tying our success to your success. And that we don't want to just take from this group. We want to not only give back, but we want to share in the success. So this is a huge piece for us. And when we've been working on these questions that have been and issues that have been brought up to us for some time, considerable amount of time in Ollie's case, and Mickey's case, they've been working on this for quite some time. And this is the answer to many of the questions that the group has asked. Many of the issues that you guys have had about profitability and about costs, this is the answer. And more savings for you means more savings for us too. And what I did want to do was I just wanted to ask for some engagement here. Have any of you guys, anybody today, ever felt that they've been, their back's been against the wall, that you're stuck, that maybe you have too much stock in one location, or maybe you don't have enough stock in a certain location, that you're being inundated with fees, and you find it difficult to move forward, or you're not sure what to do. Stuck because you can't do the thing that you would like to do because you know the hit that you're going to take to your bottom line. If anybody's ever been stuck, if you could just put stuck in the chat, we'd appreciate that. There we go. It looks like this might be resonating, Ollie. Looks like we're not the only people.
No, it's all part of the journey. And, I, again, like I said, I'm quite new to PowerPoint or presentations in general. So I would be typing in stuck into the chat box if I wasn't fearful that I was going to break anything. No, absolutely. The amount of times just taking products ruled out, for example, Stephen, the amount of products that get ruled out on numbers, we know is high, and it's always going to be high. But the ability to remove certain COGS or cost of goods sold might make things different. It might make us want to relook and revisit some of these products that we had previously ruled out.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. I don't think it's a might. I think it's absolutely. We are absolutely going to be able to rule things in that previously were ruled out. Also very exciting. So
how does All One work? So exactly the same as normal. So an order is produced, whether it's a brand new order for a new product or a reorder for current product that you sell, produce at the manufacturer as per normal. The deposit is paid up front, and the balance is paid before shipping. Once production is ended, it's shipped to the All One facility, where it's stored at the All One facility. And at that point, you decide what quantity to send to where. And the remainder stays in free storage. I'm just going to read that last bullet point one more time. The remainder of the stock, so you choose to send 5 cartons to Australia, 8 cartons to the US, and 3 cartons to the UK. The remainder of that stock at the All One facility remains free storage. So with that said, I'll move on to the next slide.
Yeah, with that said, it's just true. And free isn't just financial. Free storage does mean no cost. We'll start with that. But it also means destination free. We can use the word independent, that it doesn't have to go all to one location. It's completely independent. It's free until you decide when, where, and how much of that stock you would like to send and where you'd like to send it. You know, how many times have you overstocked or understocked a location, and you're no longer, orders are no longer predetermined on either variations or on pack sizes. They're not, it's free from variations. It's free from pack sizes, and the idea that you can make these adjustments in increments that work for you and for your business. So the idea of free of cost, but also free to be able to not predetermine what you have to do. You don't have to sit and make a decision months before you've ever put an order into a market and decide at that time what that'll be. If you know, I would ask the group right now, we'll go to the chat on this. Have any of you ever had any destination issues? Has anybody ever made a poor decision on how much stock they should have sent or could have sent to a destination? So just why don't we just put a 2 in the chat if anybody's ever just experienced any destination issues. Looks like definitely much stock in one place. So we got a bunch of 2s here. Thank you for that, guys. So it does look like that.
Gotta say thanks to Mickey. I would definitely put a 2 in there as well, and it definitely hurts, you know, when you're overstocked in a certain country and it sells well in another one, and you know, you just misjudge those numbers ever so slightly, and you're more than healthy in stock with one, and you're just looking at the opportunity cost in the other. I think most people have been in that situation. We are certainly no different. All right. So now let's take a look at the All One benefits. First benefit would be 0 storage fees for all products. I think that's certainly a big one. 0 inward costs for replenishments. So one thing that comes to mind whenever I'm reading this bullet point is just some of the larger items or the heavier items that we have inside our portfolio. One of the items, it's a rack for surfboards and stand-up paddle boards. I can see Mike smiling there. I know that he deals with very heavy products as well. And I believe it's about $4.80 per unit to send that into Amazon. And, you know, it's a product that we've been selling for years and we'll still continue to sell. But the fact that we're able to remove that and demolish that cost completely has just increased that profit margin for that product per unit. And I'd like to just think about our PCS. How great would it be if we were to highlight that inward order column and just press backspace? What would that do to your POI? What would it do to your cash profit? And the last bullet point on here is 0 membership fees for this service. As we said at the top of the call, and we'll reiterate this later on, this is included in your annual all-inclusive membership.
Yes, I do see that Patrick said that this would be huge for one of his products. Would probably keep it as a very viable product. Yes, this is a big piece. We are going to be able to revisit, many of the different things that we've done in the past. That is one piece that is extremely exciting, and in this case, would be a benefit. If we continue on the benefits, there's zero receiving fees for goods, zero local port charges per destination, zero transfer fees between countries. Anybody that has had those stock issues that we talked about and has had to try to move or attempted to move some products, I know for ourselves, Emily and I had attempted to move some products because we were selling through Canada and we were overstocked in the US. And we looked into it, and I couldn't believe how much it actually cost. It was a little bit shocking to me, and we never did it because and you know what, we sat on that stock for a long time because of that, and we knew we had those issues. So these are real life benefits. We talked about touching base with people and talking to them about their issues, but as private label sellers ourselves, we've experienced a lot of these things. So it's a big piece for us. And I would also say that the idea of removing that column out of the PCS can't be overstated. I look forward to that day to just hit backspace.
Yeah, and I can see Patrick's mentioned in the chat. I paid $2,000 to send a product from the US to Canada. Mickey's mentioned that I've done a replenishment in Canada and looked at the UPS shipping fee, and I nearly cried. Yeah, I was there, and she nearly cried. Yeah. Just before we kind of move on to the next slide, I think transfer between countries definitely resonated with a story I remember. We were mid-production on a reorder, split between the US and the UK. And it come to our attention that there was a patent on the product. Luckily, as we were mid-production, as in when I say lucky, it means that it could have been the whole lot been sent there and that whole situation. So we were forced to redirect that. It was all destined to go to the US and the UK. We made it 100% to the UK. But had we already been in this process, it certainly would have not been as major of an issue as it was. But again, we were lucky to nip that in the bud quite early. So some more benefits of All One. So the ability to test new countries with small quantities. So a lot of people kind of shy away from the smaller marketplaces. I know that there are a lot of products that are universal that could do well in Australia, but again, it's that fear of if we send in 100 units into Australia, there is no neighboring Canada to save us. It's an island in the middle of the sea. So a lot of people, and I understand, would get a little bit nervous about testing smaller marketplaces. And using Australia as a small marketplace example, but something tells me that this might open the door to potential other new marketplaces that we had never really encountered or thought about before, just because the logistical process just wasn't not available at the time. So keep your eyes peeled. There will be new marketplaces added to our country list. The ability to test all available countries, ability to correct product issues. So product arriving with, like I said before, poly bags that need taped down, missing made in China, missing labels completely, bundling's gone wrong. I mean, we've had an issue where we've placed an order with a supplier. They sourced a bonus from another supplier. They didn't pack it together. They just said, Mr. Rasul, your packages are ready. Here are the packages with your main product, and here are the cartons of your bonus. And I'm like, no, they need to be packed together. But scenarios like that can come up. And these are certain things that can be done at the facility as well. ability to multi-pack or repackage. I know that Stephen spoke on this earlier, and products that we have, for example, the fence post caps, they come in a 4, 8, and a 12. Been very difficult to send in the right amount to the right country, because really labor and material costs to get them reconfigured at those destination countries are a lot higher than at the home country as well. So there's a few more benefits.
Yeah, the ability to bundle and test new variations easily. We've obviously been discussing this. The ability to stage replenishments, save more on Amazon storage fees. And this one down here at the bottom, the ability to use more than 1 or 2 ports in China. We've been working towards building our network and doing what we do on the backside of private label people in the background, and working with this network and growing this network. And we know that, in one case, we discussed this weeks ago, and the idea of being able to ship magnets came up in conversation. And I've had a product that I would like to work with in a market that I would like to work in the back for, I think, for 2 years, honestly. And we have not been able to move on this. And this is going to be one of the first projects that we take on in our own portfolio with a new product. And I'm super excited about it. This is a huge piece for us, for everyone, as a benefit. And when it comes to the benefits that we're discussing, these benefits, every single one of them is directly connected to your bottom line. We talked about being heavy involvement in your bottom line. This is what this is, and have you ever experienced, a challenge or an issue, or if you wanted to try new markets, this allows you, this process allows you to sell in the meantime in all of these markets, and you can adjust, and you can be more flexible, and you can really be in control of your business on a level that we just have not seen so far in private label. Very excited about this.
So how do you join All One? Just before we kind of move on, I just want to gauge what people are thinking. I know that me and Stephen have talked for some time now. I just want to get a vibe for what you guys are thinking. Just let us know in the chat. Just give us a me to let us know if you're interested in joining us on this journey.
While those are coming in now, it looks like we do have a couple comments that if we go to the chat, it looks like Mike talked about having a challenge moving stock from the UK to the US. And Carson. Hello, Carson says, you guys are awesome. That's a capital SO right there in the middle of that awesome. I just tried to change my subscription. Oh, he's already moving. He's already moving. Look at this. He had a MVP today already. What's the trick? You know what? We'll talk about the tricks of this. We're going to walk through this with you a little bit. Okay. So thank you. But it's great to see you, and it's great. Looks like he's jumping on board. That's fantastic. And it does look like, you did get a bunch of me's in the chat.
Awesome. That's great. So yeah, I'd say hold fire, guys. I'm going to talk through the best method in doing exactly that. Making sure that you have the correct billing details inside Circle, changing your plan to all-inclusive one, and then we reach out. It's a very, very simple process. We made it a lot more simply than originally planned. So you might be thinking, what might people be thinking? Stephen, I'll let you take this one.
Sure. Why do I need an annual membership? This one it's pretty straightforward. The short answer on this is commitment. We are looking for your commitment. And the reason is we're not charging for this. Now, we know that we're asking you to update your membership to an annual membership, but that's a membership that you would already be paying. There's no additional charge. There's no additional cost. As a matter of fact, if you do move to an annual private label people membership for the all-inclusive membership, you actually get a discount. It's cheaper than it is if you pay monthly. So what we're really looking for is your commitment. We haven't increased this membership. We're not talking about a service that is month to month. There's no membership for storage. There's no monthly invoices. And this is a commitment to what we spoke about early on in the private label people journey about being a relationship-centric group, that we want to work in business with each other and as a group. So that's why we would request that you move to an annual membership.
Another question we preempted is, what if I already have a third-party logistic partner? So kind of similar to having a phone contract or a piece of software for your business. It's completely fine. If you wanted to move over into a different area, you just simply transition into the new system. So there's nothing that's really called for or much massive change on that side.
And then another question would be, what if I don't have my first product ordered? This is also pretty straightforward for us. You would not want to jump in at this time. What we would suggest is that you familiarize yourself with the group and the educational pieces inside Circle, that you work through the first course, you work through all of the streams that are available to you, that you familiarize yourself with the people and all the education, and that you schedule a call with us and we talk about your first product. And once you go through a product selection call and you're able to select that first product, there is even a period of time for production and setup. We would probably discuss the idea of moving you forward into this all one once that product is coming out of production and ready to move to our all one facility. At that point, that would be the proper time to move forward.
And similarly, what if I don't have any products to order now? You might be in between different orders, and you might not be required to reorder, or you might not be in the position to place a new order on your next product. So a similar answer to Esso there. It's not the right time. It doesn't mean that this is going to close for you. When the right time does come, you're on this call for a reason, and you'll be welcome.
And can I use this service for my existing products? This is a pretty straightforward. It's very similar to the process. It wouldn't make sense for you to pull your products. We just talked about how costly it can be to move your products from one country to the other. The idea would be that you would just sell through your current stock, but new products, reorders would then be updated to this process going forward.
Just reading a comment there as well. No, we have no association or affiliation with any other third-party freight forwarder or third-party logistics companies. This is a completely centralized, all-one service.
Right, exclusively through private label people. And we know that there's multiple different third-party storage facilities that people use. You would just, like we said, sell through your inventory, sell through your stock, and then new orders, new products, new reorders.
So what could my savings be? And we were looking at this earlier, and it was quite interesting, but let's go through that. So if we're looking at an average portfolio of 3 products and 3 new products per year, the average product size, which would be 30 by 20 by 10. So looking at like a MacBook Pro or a laptop in its box as an average size of a unit, what would be the average order size? 500 units or 105 cubic foot? And what would be the average sell-through? Let's go with a relaxed 9 months, and that's 945 cubic foot.
And what are my savings elements? Well, right here we've highlighted storage and inward fees. There's other fees associated with this, such as receiving, local port, memberships, things that we discussed so far. But what we're specifically highlighting at this point is only storage and only inward, even though there's cost savings for all of those, and sometimes actually complete elimination. Being able to eliminate those obviously is greater than just saving on them. But we're just talking about storage and inward fees at this point.
So let's start from the top. Year 5, based on the numbers we were looking at, that's 18 products. Storage would have cost just over $8,000 with an inward cost for that year of just under $7,000. Year 4, 15 products. Storage would have been 6,700 in storage, and the inward would be 5,500. Year 3, 12 products. Storage, based on those numbers we were looking at, would be just over $5,000, and the inward would be $4,500. Year 2, with 9 products, storage would have cost just over $4,000, and the inward would total just over $3,000. And in the first year with 6 products, so remember 3 current products with 3 new products added to the portfolio, that would have been a storage of just over $2,500 with an inward totaling just over $2,000.
Well, I think before we go into this, I did want to say a couple things, which would be, we've all looked at POI and POR, and unfortunately, we believe that these are a bit incomplete a view of operational margin of a product. They don't include every piece, and we've listened to people talk about it. What about storage? What about different costs that are associated? What about the port fees? Sometimes it can be hundreds of dollars per port, and these aren't put into POI, and we do believe that the operational margin should be able to be seen here. And this really is the evolution of POI, private label, and the platforms that we sell on. They're continuing to evolve. This is actual costs and actual savings, something that can be seen, because we're literally, I'm going to go back to what Holly said earlier about the PCS. We're going to delete that column. I mean, if anybody's gone through PCS, like you should have in all reporting, what these costs can get to. Mike mentioned the heavy products and all those things. So actual cost, actual savings that can be seen. So really, this is funny for me, because clearly from the US, from New York, I did not write this slide. I've never used the word fancy in this manner before, but fancy, $50,000 saving. The question then becomes, are you in? So I would like just to start with maybe a little bit of engagement on this one. Maybe we get an in to start to see, is anybody in?
Oh, they're flying in. And I could already see, I'm looking through the chat here as well. Patrick's already arranging his stock to be transferred. I think he's asked, what's just called up there?
He obviously fancies a savings.
Yeah. So what are products that are in production, nearly done? Yeah. I mean, this facility is operational. So if deposit was due yesterday and it was paid for yesterday, as long as it hasn't left the port, it's more than welcome in all one. Just had a question from Jeff. So if the storage facility is in China, then the inward goes directly from China to Amazon in the destination country. Am I missing anything? No, that's exactly it. Goes directly from the all one facility to your chosen Amazon fulfillment center. And obviously there's a little bit of a difference, or a little bit of a strategy behind that in terms of when to replenish and how much to replenish. That we're going to cover that in a lot of training. And bear in mind that stock that's at sea, stock that's on the water, and stock that's on its way to Amazon on its final leg all incur zero storage. So that's another beauty about this model.
So we're going to go over this again. How do you join all one? You're going to, obviously, we just let people let us know in the chat. What you're going to do is you're going to want to go to Circle, update your billing information, change your plan to all-inclusive one, and let us, we're going to speak to you about this, and we'll show you how it's done.
And how. So there are two types of people on this call right now, and some of you may fall into the active category and also the trial, and each are going to have a pretty similar path to one another. And we can start off with the first path if you're active, and if you are part of the active, your name should be on this list. And if you can find your name, please type in 1 in the chat box, just so I know that I have got this right, and I can start seeing ones coming in right now. If you don't see your name on this, you're most likely going to be on path 2. So don't worry, I'll be going through that as well. So it looks like we've got a number of ones coming in. Perfect. So let's jump straight into this. So active path 1, all you need to do is just navigate, and I'll show you kind of over the shoulder after this. Navigate to the billing page by clicking on your profile photo or your avatar and selecting billing. Once you've done that, just go to the subscription tab on the billing page, then click more actions, which would be the 3 dots on the top right, and change plan. Select plan. You can change your subscription plan to all-inclusive 1. Choose billing cycle, select the annual billing cycle, add a payment method, and review your charge details. Confirm change. So what does this look like in practical terms? So this is a bit of a step-by-step path. So this would be the top of your circle page, and as you can see at the top right, you might have an avatar. If not, then you might just have your initials. Simply click on that, and it will bring the this area here where you can click on billing, and that will bring you into the billing area, and you can click onto the 3 dots just on the right. And by the way, this is all recorded, so if you need to rewatch this later on, all good. And if you have any issues, you can feel free to reach out to us directly as well. Then once you clicked on that, you can click on the change plan, and that will bring you into this area where you'd select the all-inclusive 1. Click on yearly, and then hit next. And then you can see the area where you can either have a new card put in, or if you already have one, it should already show there, and you can click on confirm change. So the next would be the trial. So this would be a slightly, will be pretty much the same as the previous path, and I'll walk you through that as well. But give me a 2 if your name is on here, just so I know who's watching. Perfect. And while everyone's doing that, let me just bring up this page here. I can see we've got a number of 2s there.
Yep.
Perfect. So pretty much exactly the same, navigating to the billing page by clicking your profile photo or avatar and selecting billing. Then go into the subscriptions tab on the billing page, then click upgrade. So this is probably the slight tweak between the 2 paths. And then click more actions, again, the 3 dots, then upgrade. Select the plan. You can change your subscription plan to all-inclusive 1. and then choose billing cycle, select the annual billing cycle, then add a payment method and review your charge details. Confirm, and another step-by-step is going to that same area just on the top right where your avatar or your initials are. That should open up this area where you can click onto billing. And in the billing area, just to the kind of center right of the screen, you can see upgrade, which you can click on, selecting all-inclusive 1, hitting next, and then selecting the yearly cycle, clicking next, and then upgrading the plan by entering your card details and confirming the change.
So one more time, question is, are you in? And I would say, I'm going to ask this for the group. You can put an in the chat if you are rushing over to Circle and you are upgrading and updating your information. Looks like Gaytree, Patrick's giving us a yes, but I'm assuming that's an in. So there we go. There's some ins. Looks like we have a couple questions. So we can speak to some of these questions. Let's go in here. If we're on a trial, will kick us off and charge us now? So this is a question. I think Carson also mentioned this question. And the straightforward answer is yes. And the reason is, we talked about it, is we're not charging you for something that you wouldn't already be charged for. I know that you were on a free payment for a period of time. This is the membership cost for all-inclusive membership. We're talking specifically about people that would like to make this commitment to be involved in All One. Obviously, you are going to get all of the benefits of all the all-inclusive membership, and there's no additional cost. And like I mentioned before, if you do an annual membership, it actually drops your cost because the monthly payment is $99 a month that's charged for the all-inclusive membership, and the annual membership is $995. So it does save you over $200 for your annual membership. Obviously, it is also the commitment. So I hope that answers you directly. We are trying to be transparent. We got nothing to hide behind here. And the other part of this that we really want to press forward, there's really no cost to this. You're already, if you're going to be a member with us, you're already paying these fees. So how much does it cost? One more time. Technically, the cost is zero. All you need is private label people annual membership for the all-inclusive membership that we've already have out there. We do know that this service is not mandatory. You're not required to have savings. You're not required to have all of the benefits that we spoke about. You're not required to have the freedom to choose and be in charge and in more control of your products and your stock. You're more than welcome to pay more if you desire so to continue that process. And of course, you can be less efficient if that's something that you do choose.
Okay, one last time. I have to say it one last time. Are you in? Let's put an in the chat box one last time if you're in, if you're joining us on this journey, if you're in All One, and I can see them come flooding in. The guys are going to be sick of us asking them again and again and again. But for more benefits, zero storage fees on products. I don't think we need to really talk about this anymore. I think the fact that we have these multiple times, because it might come up, it's like, but how much will it cost? But how much will it cost? Storage is free, zero inward costs. Again, going into your PCS, demolishing that whole column, and look at what the savings can be. And those savings just increase your profit. Zero membership fees for your service. This is all included in all-inclusive. This is why it's called all-inclusive. Receiving fees for goods. Every third-party warehouse that I've worked with over the years charge for receiving goods into their warehouse. They need to. It's built into their payment structures. If they didn't, it would be a little bit strange. I would kind of query it. But there are zero receiving fees at our goods. These are all based in China. This is our facility. Local port charges per destination. I think you were talking about this, or you were talking through this slide on the previous time, Esso, and another story again. I'm full of stories today, but particularly remember, in fact, I'll tell you what the product was. Seed boxes. If Evelyn's watching now, she has exclusivity of this product that we were selling for many years, and she would not be selling it today if we weren't able to tweak the process, because we were being charged $650 per destination as local port charges, whether it's for 100 units or 1,000 units. The ability to remove that has just made us very happy. So a demolishment, if that's a word, of local port charges per destination. And then again, transfers between countries. You got stock that you want to send from the US to the UK, or the US to Canada, or Australia to the UK, you're going to be paying double duties. That's going to eat away at your bottom line. That is demolished. That doesn't have to happen.
And there are more benefits, but before I do, I just wanted to go to the chat real quick. There was a question from Gwill. It was asking about, it says, is there a consignee in the country of destination? And how does the duty work?
Yes, sorry, I just on there, Steve. I realised after typing it's a stupid question on the second point on the duty, because obviously we're buying it through yourselves anyway. So anyway, ignore it, move on.
There we
That's
go.
all good, Bill.
And answered his own question. Well, I will mention, as part of the all-inclusive membership, you have access to all-inclusive products. And when you choose an all-inclusive product, whether it be a product that we source for you, a product that you reorder with us, or a product that you do a new product selection, this would be included. The duties and the shipping are included. So again, there's no cost. It's just true. Some of the benefits that we obviously have already gone over: the ability to test new countries with small quantities. Not only that, it's at your leisure, but it really is at your control. There's the timeline on this. You can adjust based on, we know most people have, work. We know how much time private label business can consume. And we also know that a lot of people have multiple things happening in their life, not just other jobs, but family and just life in general. So this allows you the flexibility, the ability to test all available countries. Ali mentioned that the list of countries is going to increase. It is increasing, that's for sure, and it's exciting. The ability to correct product issues and the ability to multi-pack and repackage products. All of these things are a huge benefit. And if anybody's ever had a boxing issue, Emily and I had a product. It was one of our beginning products, and we made a boxing mistake because we misunderstood oversized products. We thought that if a product was over 63 centimeters on one side, then you were good for any size. But what we didn't realize was that it was you were only allowed to be oversized on the same side of the product. We thought that you could go in any direction. So we ended up sending huge boxes, and immediately upon receipt, they said, these have to be, this won't work. It cost us, I think, $900 to rebox those products. We lost a significant portion of our profits on a product that we hadn't even sold one unit on. We would have eliminated that process, or those costs. So I know there's some more benefits. Lastly, the ability to bundle and test new variations easily, the ability to stage replenishments, save more on Amazon fees. And again, we talked about this, using more than just 1 or 2 ports in China. These are huge. And these lead us to our final question, which is, are you in? Now, before we go any further in asking, are you in, and getting any responses from the group, I just want to take a minute to thank Ali for his work and his involvement in this. This has been years and years in the making, behind the scenes. I know that this goes back a considerable amount of time, and also Mickey's involvement and the work that she's put in. The both of you guys have worked tirelessly, not only with us as a team, but individually in the journey that you guys went on through your own private label experience. And thank you for sharing that so freely with us the entire time, Emily and I, but also how you share things so freely with people that you work with. You know, when we talk about it does come at a cost, right? The cost that it often comes at is that you know, Ali and Mickey, they have given me their time, and it takes away from you know, it's a cost to each other when they do that. So I just wanted to say personally, thank you for this. This is huge. I was saying at the beginning of this call that I was getting excited because we have products that we are going to revisit. We have products that we couldn't get to work. We have products that we want to get moving. This is going to inject an enormous amount of energy and focus into our private label portfolio, and it's going to take us to those numbers. When you go through the first course and you look at your critical number and you look at it and you go, oh my, can I really achieve that? For me, it just became achievable. So I wanted to say thank you. And I'd like to lastly ask one more time, you know, are you in? And for the people on this call, for the people that have ordered products with private label people, let me ask you a question, which is, how does it feel? How does it feel to know that the product that you selected with us, that you were excited about the profits, you were excited about the numbers that we shared with you, that those numbers just got better, and that we would like you to go and calculate it. We'd like you to eliminate those costs and those expenses and calculate that. Now, we only want you to do that, of course, if you are in. So go ahead and do that. Congratulate yourself, and if you could go in, lastly, one more time, in the chat, let us know if you're in. Look at this. We're getting some in. Well, that's it for me. We have a lot of people that are in. This is super exciting. Ali, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Great everybody's involvement today. Thank you for the engagement from everybody. It's great to see everybody. It's great to hear everybody. And of course, there's always more to come from us. And if you have any questions, you can always lean into us.
Yeah, just to echo Stephen, thanks again for joining us this evening. And I know it is evening for a number of you. I'm looking at Gwyl just on my screen here as well. We're in the same time zone. So thank you all for joining us at this time. And again, if you have any queries or get stuck on anything, just feel free to reach out. And if you're watching this on a recording, same applies. You're always welcome to reach out. So again, thanks a lot for joining, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next call. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Bye.